Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, Zoopla's latest house price index is out. I always like to have a look at it. They've got a good finger on the pulse of the market and everything basically supporting what we have been saying for a while. So buyer demand is up 12%, sales agreed are up 13% on the same 12-month period, and available stock up 22%. I really like this chart here. It shows you what has been going on with buyer demand over the last few years, looking back to the beginning of that Boris bounce back at the beginning of 2020, just before the pandemic, and then you can see there those really great peaks and troughs. One thing you will see, they're very normal to have a seasonal average. So January would typically be down. That's not unusual at all. But equally then, what's quite good to see is that we are currently now on a trajectory to be the same as we were in July 2022. So just before that disastrous mini budget, you can see demand almost getting back to where it was then. Still not at the heady heights of the pandemic, but we are getting there. Still a buyer's market though, 1/5 of properties being negotiated at 10% or below of asking price. But I think as long as a seller goes to market realistically, they should be fine actually. We're negotiating closer to 3% below. So we have quite a higher number of deals at the moment that don't go anywhere, where buyer and seller price expectations remain misaligned. But generally, we do get there a little bit closer than that. So that's all good. Another interesting story that caught my attention was about the first-time buyer market. Now, I might have to refer to my notes here. I've got a new alarm in my house, and it went off at 2 o'clock this morning because it had disconnected from the hub. I couldn't get back to sleep. So I've been up since 2. At 3 o'clock, I hit my desk. I'm starting to feel a bit tired. So I might have to refer to my notes, which I don't have to do very often. So basically, first-time buyers over 50 on the rise. It's been going up about 7% every year since 2018. They still form the smallest proportion of first-time buyers over 50, is lowest in London than any other part of the country. But interestingly, that has been increasing at a higher than above average rate. So that might overtake national averages soon. Interesting calls for lenders to do something about that. Most mortgages have to be repaid by the age of 75. So lots of lenders being asked to extend their mortgage terms as more of those first-time buyers getting on the market. It's interesting, isn't it? What has happened? The one demographic I could slightly think about is maybe inheritance. So that would be typical age to be inheriting from your parents, and the deposit remains the biggest issue why many people can't get on the property ladder. It's nothing to do with mortgage costs. They're still on average cheaper than average rents. It's to do with that deposit. So that, quite an interesting fact, but who knows. Another interesting story that caught my attention was all about why are there more exchanges on a Friday than any other day of the week. So there was some research on this. It wasn't sure if this was just an urban myth or whether it is actually true. And indeed, it is the truth. The figures increase throughout the week. So 14% of deals exchange on a Monday, rising to 28% on a Friday. Now, why might that be? What logical reason could there be? Well, you might think it's because people like to move on a Friday, and therefore if they're going to complete on the Friday, they've got to exchange by the Friday before. And equally, lenders need 5 working days to release the funds, so that would bring you to that Friday before as well. But that doesn't actually hold water, because the average time between exchange and completion is 13 days. So that would mean that more should be exchanging on a Thursday, were that true. I think probably what it is pressure from the chain to get the deal done. People kind of want to go into the weekend knowing it's done, myself included. They want to have a drink to celebrate on a Friday night and start getting ahead of themselves with the packing. They've got a whole weekend extra than if they wait to the Monday to exchange. So I personally think it's why is pressure from everyone. Just come on, let's get this deal exchanged and over the line. That could be what it is, but who knows? Just my random musings as ever. A lovely property that we've taken to market this week is in Redcliffe Place. It's a really lovely 3-bedroom first floor apartment. It's a very beautiful development which is up the front road, so nice walking distance to the Pantiles station, etc. beautifully presented southwest facing balcony, excellent storage, highly energy efficient. A real one to see, on at a guide of £785,000. We're already getting inquiries. If that's of interest, do give us a call. There's lots obviously going on as we wind into February. January is nearly over, thank goodness. I've done veganuary and dry January, but fallen off the wagon 3 times. Dreadful. So bring on February. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.